Shama Kabani. You're watching Shama TV, where we take a fresh look at business and technology, and sometimes we get lucky enough to have an amazing guest with us like we do today. We have Larry North. Many of you are familiar with this name because Larry is a master in the world of fitness. He's a well-known face, he's a well-known name, and he is an amazing entrepreneur with a wonderful story to share with us. He just finished speaking here at TiCon, where he shared how he got his start, some of the pitfalls he's encountered, but also the enormous success that he's had as an entrepreneur. And so Larry, thank you so much for being with us today.
My pleasure.
So tell us just a little bit, the audience who may not be very familiar with your work. I doubt there's a lot of them, but there may be a few.
There might be a few. I'm very fortunate. I've been self-employed for 31 years. Started my first health club almost 24 years ago. Wow. I've been fortunate to get 3 books published, one by Simon Schuster, Get Fit, Living Lean, Slim Down for Life. I've created successful infomercials. I speak, I do wellness. I get to do something that's really nice, and that's help people feel better about themselves.
And I love that. But often I also hear from entrepreneurs who say, I don't have time to work out, or it's like they're so busy trying to chase the profits and this economic success that they often, I think, overlook some of these more important things, like just taking care of yourself, for example. Any tips or advice you might have on that?
Yeah, I've done radio for 25 years, hosting my own show. I've heard every single excuse at least 10,000 times. It plays in my head like a CD going over and over again.
But Larry,
I'm sort of numb to the excuses because I've also been well-traveled, and part of success is to understand the balance. Now, if you're an entrepreneur and you're starting a business, you know what? You better be in there working 10, 12 hours a day. You might have investor money, your family money, your own money. You got to make it work. How do I create time savers and money savers? I prepare the food in advance. So I have food with me. I carry food. I have food at my work refrigerator. I have food in my car. I have food in my briefcase. I never allow myself to go hungry. Therefore, without having to take the time to go get food, that shrinks up my day to have more time on my hands. When it comes to exercise, I explain to people, you can't work the weight off anyway. You have to learn to eat the weight off.
I love it. And so just to highlight, I think a couple of things that you said really struck home with me, which one, preparation. Just like you prepare in business, you need to prepare for a healthy life, right? Whatever, think of that. And then flexibility. It sounds like I'm guilty of this too, is saying, I don't have a full hour today to go to the gym, so I'm not going to do anything. But it sounds like what you're saying is it doesn't matter. Wherever you can carve it in and fit it in, you have to start somewhere.
I'm pretty happy with my physical self at age 50, almost 52. And I will tell you what people are most shocked is how little I do work out. I was a bodybuilder. I remember those endless hours in the gym. You don't have to do that. I spend maybe 20, 30 minutes in the gym tops. I walk in my neighborhood. I walk my dog. I hop on a little no-speed bike. It doesn't have to be no pain, no gain. In fact, no pain for me is gain.
You've also had so much success as an entrepreneur, right? You've done radio, you're an author, you travel, you've got your health clubs. I mean, you have so much going on. How do you keep all of this balanced?
Sometimes some people like me, the more I'm doing, the more successful I'm at all of them. Mm-hmm. Versus if I have idle time, I feel like, I'm letting dust grow.
It sounds like really for people out there, you have to have your priorities straight. Right? And if you have these goals, then sometimes you have to make sacrifices, and even you have to decide what sacrifices are really worth making and which aren't.
I think you're right.
So that's sort of the underlying
it's really, lesson. Who you are. And again, like I like the way you stated, sort of knowing who you are as a person, because I live in a modest home, and I consider it modest. It's about 4,000 square feet. It's in the North Dallas part of Texas. And I'll never forget last Halloween, young little African-American boy knocked on the door for Halloween, and I opened the door, and he looked up with big eyes, and he goes, "Sir, is this a mansion?"
Oh.
To him it was. It was all perspective. To me it was a pretty modest home, and different from other homes I've lived in. And I thought, after I shut the door, and I told him, I said, yeah, today it is. And I shut the door, and I thought, wow, there's perspective. And I looked around my house, and I thought how much I love my home. I don't need a bigger home. It's my mansion. So again, perspective.
Yeah, I love it. So Larry North with us talking about perspective, balance, and finding what works for you. Thank you so much, Larry.
My pleasure. Thank you.